Welcome back. In a CBS News exclusive, a 14-year-old girl describes how she was zip-tied by law enforcement during an October raid on a horse racing track in rural Idaho. The raid was targeting an alleged illegal gambling ring, but resulted in more than 300 American citizens and 100 undocumented immigrants in custody, only 5 of whom were arrested on nonviolent charges. Today, the ACLU filed suit alleging the raid was a cover for an immigration operation and agents used excessive force against children. CBS News chief correspondent Matt Gutman spoke with the sheriff who led the raid.
The youngest that was zip-tied was 16 years old, and he had a mustache. There were kids in there. They weren't zipped. Those little ones were not zip-tied.
This is a picture of Suhey. We met her this morning. She's 14 years old.
Okay.
She's I would say, a child, a girl who was zip-tied, and these are the bruises from those zip ties.
Okay. And
Have you seen that or heard?
No, I had not. I had not seen that. But I will tell you this. I've been in this business a long time. I've gone against gang members who are a lot younger than that.
She was with her 6-year-old brother and 8-year-old sister.
But you're taking that out of context. We do not know her.
What kind of context do you need? There's a young girl with 2 small children with her. How dangerous could she possibly be?
We don't know.
CBS News chief correspondent Matt Gutman is following this for us from Los Angeles. Matt, great to see you. You spoke with some of the kids at the scene. What did they have to say about this?
You know, Ed, the ACLU in its lawsuit, which was just filed about an hour ago, says that there were multiple children who were detained. Some of them were zip-cuffed. And I spoke to Suhey Tello. She's 14, probably around 5'1", 100 and some pounds. And she said that multiple agents forced her out of her car. She asked who they were, why they were detaining her. She says she didn't get a response. She says they threw her to the ground, and we saw bruises, images of her bruising on her side, and those images you see now of bruising on her wrist. She was later detained and zip-tied, and she was crying so intensely. She was eventually reunited with her mother and crying so intensely that she had a panic attack, and her mother couldn't console her because she was also zip-tied. These are American citizens, right? There were about 500 people at this event, and 105 of them were detained and arrested for not having documents on them, which meant, the sheriff told me, that about 375 people were U.S. citizens, the majority of them, and some of them had residency, and they were being detained against their will without being told specifically what they were being detained for until they were processed by ICE, and eventually those zip ties were cut off. And you know, we just went back there, Ed, and right at that scene, 4.5 months later, you can still see those zip ties cut off on the ground there at that racetrack. A reminder, 5 people were arrested for nonviolent illegal gambling at the site.
That's incredible that the zip ties are still there. I think we have sound of the young girl you spoke with. We should hear from her if we can. Let's take a listen.
They're like, what's your name? They're like, get out of the truck, get out of the truck. And I just stay there, and I just don't get out. And then that's when they pull me out, and I land on my side.
And Alfredo, did the officers try to pull you out of the car?
No, I opened the door, and I was trying to protect my sister.
I mean, that's pretty incredible that it was these kids caught in the middle of this.
Yeah, saying that he was trying to protect his sister. Now, there are apparently other children who were involved. Some of them were told by local lawyers were afraid to file suit because they just don't want to ruffle any feathers in this community.
And, you know, we should point out, too, contextually, this was, of course, occurring sort of in the wake of, at the same time as the situation in Minneapolis, so it didn't get as much attention. But the fact that they've rushed this lawsuit just signals how significant the ACLU at least believes this was.
That's right. It happened a little bit before, but certainly during the peak of the immigration operations that we've seen across the country, obviously in Minneapolis, but Chicago, Maine, other cities, Los Angeles as well. And one of the things that was very interesting about this is that we can demonstrably show that children were detained. But we asked the sheriff about it. He said that he didn't believe that anybody younger than 16 was zip-cuffed or detained. And we reached out to the Department of Homeland Security and asked them about the detention and zip-cuffing or zip-tying of young children. They said it was a conspiracy theory, Ed.
Well, we'll have much more of your reporting on the CBS Evening News later tonight, 6:30 in the East and the West, 10 p.m. Eastern here on CBS News 24/7. Matt Gutman, thank you so much for that reporting. We look forward to seeing the rest of it.